Welcome to Prismacast episode 10. We're the podcast that talks about art through contemporary and historical means. We did it, guys. We made it to episode 10. No one's died yet. Whether people still like us, I don't know. I hope so. If you do, rate and review us, leave a comment. I don't have an art fun fact, I just have a straight up fun fact because it's the new year. It is January 2nd as I'm recording this. The most popular day for car theft is New Year's Day, with an average of 2,571 cars being stolen in 2019. That is New Year's Day, not New Year's Eve, which you'd think there would be more car thefts, which is actually number 6 most popular day to steal a car. However, number 2, President's Day. Why? I don't know. This is a long intro, but enjoy the show! Hello, Michael K.
Hi, Kris.
How insta-giggly over there.
I just like how we start these episodes, where it's just you and me. There's no awkwardness. It's just you and me, and we're just having a chat with 1,000 of our closest friends. You know, it's nice.
It's a very audacious number.
It's what I like to imagine, because I feel like if I pretend like I'm talking to like my mom or something, I won't really care what I say, and then I'm gonna be in a situation, be in a weird little hole where I put my foot in my mouth. You know what I mean?
And then you have to apologize to our one Italian listener. Just
one
possible VPN.
Yes, you are right.
Well, how are you doing this week?
Do you hear my cat?
I can hear your cat.
Okay,
Give
me a second. Okay, we're gonna. Sorry, William.
Handling the cats. I locked mine up because I planned ahead, and I can hear them clawing their ways out.
Yeah, he's not gonna stop. Give me a second so I can move him. Sorry, William. Okay, sorry. I'm back. The cat is gone. I feel bad. Okay. I don't know what I was saying. Can you remind me?
So how's your week going?
My week is going great. We went and we updated our technology today. And over the last couple days, it's just been really nice conversations with my hubby about life. And my son's been super giggly and happy to see everybody. So it's really nice taking him places because he's not screaming. So positive notes for the last couple weeks. Those are pretty good ones. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that.
Thank you.
You said you are getting into some hefty shit, but like good hefty shit pre-Japan.
Yeah, I had a really hard conversation with an elder family member. And it was kind of rough because I feel like the age group that he's a part of doesn't really understand concepts of identity. So it's hard for him to see men as anything other than red-blooded, passionate, over-the-top, boisterous personalities. And he kind of judges anybody for any deviation from that. So it's really hard to talk to him about anything that differs from that idea of male. So he came over to visit, and it was rough talking to him, so maybe we'll talk about it this episode. But I feel like it was a rough conversation to have, and it's a lot to unpack, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I not so much dealing with the conversations of like masculinity, but funny you say that because that's actually going to come up in my little notes here. But yeah, like my one side of my family is the same way, and then there's also realities about my lifestyle, which is a normal lifestyle, I feel like, for a woman my age in my existence, but older groups are just kind of confused by that. Like, I don't know what to really do with you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Just a lot of confusion and just overall unacceptance, I feel. So it's hard. But how rude of me. Kris, how was your week?
Oh boy. All all of September can eat a massive dick. Like,
Oh no.
So, in the last 30 days, I have been in 3 car wrecks, none of which are my fault. I am okay. Everyone that was a part of them are okay, but it's just so much. So about 3 weeks ago, I wasn't driving, I was a passenger, and we were driving back from downtown, and we got sideswiped by a drunk driver. And then 2 weeks ago, the week I took it wasn't like, I guess it was going to be a staycation, but I had like a whole camping trip planned, and I was going to do little day trips around Texas because I haven't really explored smaller parts of Texas. I was going to go up to Colorado Bend, and then I got T-boned the week of my vacation, and while my insurance company said it was okay for me to leave town with the car, their insurance company was not okay with me taking my car out of town. So I had to cancel that. And then yesterday I got rear-ended. So, and that was part of a 3-car pileup on the interstate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so...
Kris, you are just in the danger zone. I feel like you should never drive. Never be in a moving vehicle. How about that? You get it. I will assign you a tricycle, and you can transport yourself different places by means of that. I'll give you a basket. You can go to the grocery store. You'll be fine.
So only work within tricycling distance, basically.
Yes.
Great.
You can get very far on a trike, though. Don't listen to the haters. You can make it a good long distance.
Okay.
And think about the workout. You wouldn't have to go to the gym.
That is true. This is a very positive future you've painted for me. Yeah, so with that, like, today I'm just really tired. I slept for probably 13 hours. Like, my whole body hurts, and yeah, I'm just exhausted. So I figured, like, I can't get into any more wrecks for a while. I feel like I hit my quota, but
You're at your limit.
yeah, no wonder car insurance is so expensive in Texas, because just fucking wrecks left and right. And I think since I've moved down here, this is like the 5th accident I've been a part of. And again,
My mother-in-law, she's a Texas insurance agent, and she said that Texas is right behind California for most expensive insurance, but that's the only other state in the union that has higher premiums than they do.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like, are you freaking kidding me? We
does-
can't live in Texas.
No, that does not surprise me. When I first moved down here, I guess I don't really have to anymore, but I had to have full coverage for my car because it was financed, and I'm still going to keep it. But, here's the other thing. I paid off this car 3 weeks ago, and it's been hit twice since then, and I'm so pissed. I was like, you couldn't just let me...
It feels different.
Yeah.
No, it totally feels different when it's yours and your name is on the paperwork and you have the title and it is yours now, even though you've been paying on it, so technically you've been working towards it. Doesn't matter. Now that it's officially yours and there's no, it's different when it gets in an accident or something happens to it or someone leans against it or a bug splatters on the windshield. It's totally different.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, yeah. I've completely anthropomorphized my car. Like, I called my dad, and I was like, I got rear-ended, and I'm so mad because I'm such a good driver, and I take such good care of Victoria. The car's name is Victoria. And all she's ever done is just be reliable and drive across the country for me and never break down. And I did all this stuff. And how does she get treated? By these shitty Texas drivers. Blah, 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 blah. And yeah, so I was just like losing my shit. And I was just, yeah, I'm really upset because I feel like I'm such a good driver and I'm being rewarded with getting cars thrown at me just left and right. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so that's been my, and then like returning to work. Yeah, returning to work has been rough. End of quarter, beginning of new quarter is always a nightmare. And like this time of year, like it is a rough time of year for my company. So between September and January is just exhausting. It's like my least favorite part of the year. I don't care about holidays anymore. I'm dead inside. because it's so stressful.
That makes me so sad. This is my favorite time of year. So this will be, oof.
Yeah, that on
After
top of
Halloween. I love Halloween. So yeah, getting into Thanksgiving, it is a little bit harder. But I do love me some ending Halloween strong. So
yeah, I want that. I want all of that, and it doesn't help too that I live in a state that has no seasons. So
oh,
it's
that's true.
yeah.
That is true. Everything's the same. It all blends together.
Yeah,
I feel.
nothing is different down here except for there's now sugar skulls everywhere. That's the difference. Still
There
93
you go.
degrees. So, shall we talk about art?
Yes. What's our topic for this week?
Well,
what are we talking about?
Specifically another exhibition that I went to. So,
Whoa, no way. You're going out and doing things and seeing things. What did you see?
actually, it's kind of cheating because I saw this exhibition the same day I went and saw the Andy Warhol exhibition.
You're
But
right. It's a little bit cheating, but
It's
it's
a,
okay.
It's a little bit cheating, but if it needed its own episode because it's so beautiful and it's not talked about enough in aspects of art specifically, and it's a real tearjerker. So again, this is at the McNay Art Museum in San Antonio, and this was an exhibition that was actually called Trans-American Art Through Gender. So this is talking specifically, I want to clarify gender identity in the context of this exhibition. So it's not
Okay.
talking about the full range of gender identity. It's more specifically towards transgender and
Oh.
yeah, and there still are some other aspects of the LGBTQ plus region, but it's specifically mostly transgender, some homosexual.
limited it.
Yeah, you're not gonna
Gotcha.
have like heterosexual men talking about their gender identity and women that are straight talking about their gender identity. It's very specific part of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I just want to make that clear. While I know that there's a whole lot that goes into gender identity, this is kind of the focus of the show. So, my favorite part basically is most of these artists are pretty contemporary. There's a couple of older ones, and a couple that had passed away. Like I think, was it Julio Gallen? Yeah, Julio Gallen. He died about 13 years ago, but I still consider him contemporary. But yeah, so my favorite part was this beautiful, beautiful woman. Her name was Nikki, and she did part painting, part performance art. So she was doing oil paintings, self-portraits every day while she just was like set up in the gallery. I'm actually gonna show you. I should have sent this to you before, but so you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
I like it. I like it.
So she has like this little corner set up in the gallery, and she is painting a new self-portrait every day. And the photo that
wow.
yeah, so the photo that you're seeing there was fairly early on in the exhibition opening, and when I went there, she had probably about 10 more paintings up, and her focus is self-love, and her self-portraits are a journey towards that. So she's a transgender woman, and her frustration is looking at herself in the mirror every day and not feeling feminine enough, or not feeling as much of a woman on the outside as she does on the inside. And her story was just really beautiful because I think this is something a lot of people go through regardless if you're transgender or something. There's a period in your life where you have a hard time looking at yourself in the mirror, whether it's weight gain or something else, or just moral struggles that you're going through. And for her, this has been pretty much her entire life. And her portraits really go through the day-to-day fluctuations, because how you feel about yourself is a lot more fluid than we really acknowledge that it is. You can go through like yesterday, feel great about yourself, and then go the next day and just feel like you are this Oompa Loompa, or just hating every aspect of yourself, even though just 24 hours before you thought you were hot shit. And you can see that changing. She had a couple of portraits where she destroyed the canvas because she hated how she felt about herself that day, or hated what she was seeing in the mirror that day. And her goal, I talked to her about, I don't know, like 10 minutes, and her saying like, I hope at the end of this, I accept myself a little bit more. And looking at it, I hope that's where it ends up, because as I looked at the portraits, they started getting more and more what I felt like was a more accurate depiction of who she is. And to me, I thought she was beautiful. And she had made a point saying, she's like, people tell me that I'm beautiful, and she's like, that's all well and good, but I don't feel that for myself. So those words just mean nothing to me. And just relating to that just broke my heart. I wanted to give her a hug, but she was covered in paint, and I was not.
You were like, well, maybe not this outfit, maybe not today.
Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to give her an emotional hug.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was just set up there with her paint, and she also had a camera on, so she was live streaming what she was doing. So there was a side-by-side of like her canvas and also her face, and going back and forth between having conversations with people in real life versus having conversations with people in the stream. And yeah, I wish I could follow up, because this exhibition is closed now. It closed a couple of weeks back. And I just want to reach out and be like, how do you feel now? Do you feel like...
Well, did she keep the live streams? Do we know? Like, we should dig in this. This is crazy. I'm so intrigued. I'm so glad that you saw this in person and that you had such a nominative reaction to it. Like you were... And you were so receptive to it, and I love that. I love that about you, Kris.
Oh, thanks.
I love that about you. But how neat to have that 10-minute interaction with her and be like, okay, but why? That's really cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and maybe we should talk about this in another episode with like gallery etiquette, or like how to navigate a gallery, is that
for sure.
A lot of people are scared to talk to the artists, and you shouldn't be scared. Like, if they are there for the exhibition opening or for whatever reason, go and talk to them. Most of us are going to be socially awkward. We're very rarely going to approach you to talk about our art. There's a reason we're artists. Most of us are introverts, because we don't want to sit up there and be talking ourselves. We want our work to talk. So just take a little bit more of that initiative to go and talk to these artists, because they're most likely not going to want to do it themselves. They don't want to impede on you looking at their work. So just go talk to them. And if you aren't sure if they're the artist, you're allowed to go up to people and say, hey, are you the artist?
And ask. Yeah, that's huge. I do feel, and we've talked a little bit about having an etiquette episode, so stay tuned for that, guys, because that is coming.
Yeah.
It definitely go to openings, though. Those are where you're going to find most of your artists. But if you haven't gone, try, just go to a gallery just to go. And don't expect the artists to be there. They're off living their lives. But I do love the idea. Usually
gallery opening night is when you're going to see the artists actually there. Other than that, most of the time we're not. We're not just hanging out. Yeah. And then another piece that I found really interesting, that it really, like, there was so much in there. You had anywhere, I feel stupid because I didn't write down the name of the artist that did this, but they did like a mashup. I think I sent you a photo. A mashup of celebrity bodies. So like a feminine face on a masculine body and vice versa.
Oh, cool.
And then some of these, like the photo, the portraits of like people dressed up as other celebrities. So there's like a very beautiful, like Amy Winehouse one that I just love. So I'll have to put that up in the show notes. But I wish I knew who that artist was. So anyone knows who they are, please let us know so we can give them credit.
Reach out.
Yeah, reach out. But yeah, another one that I really liked, and I actually didn't find the artist statement for this at the time, and then after I read up on this whole thing, it totally changed my perspective on it. So there is this artist, and I'm gonna fuck up his name, and I'm so sorry. Like I slaughter Spanish words all the time. So it's Jose Villalobos. 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 I don't know.
You are barking up the wrong cultural tree here.
Oh shit!
I'm so sorry.
I spelled his name. We're just gonna say Jose, because that's the name that I can't pronounce. So it's a white mariachi outfit, like a traditional mariachi outfit, and then behind it is this video of a man, and the man's actually Jose, the artist, of him on like a white catwalk thing, and he is going down the catwalk and smashing these clay souls that are they're like glittery and painted bright colors, and it's very violent. Like he's smashing the clay, and the clay is like shooting off the walkway and like falling off and like going towards people that are watching it. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, just smashing it through the thing, and he'll smash it, say something, then go on to the next one, and then at the end he pulls out this liver and stabs it and gets all of this like red juice all over the front of the outfit, and it was saying something. I wish I had put on the headphones, but I was just kind of watching it. But he was saying something, and then just like walked out of the room. So it was really interesting. So I was looking at this and I was like, okay, I feel like this definitely has something to do with Latin culture and something with masculinity, but I don't really understand anything else. I'm just mesmerized by this. So I was a little bit right. So the main reason for this piece, Jose was saying, is that it's about Vicente. I'm just say Vicente.
Just sound it out. It's okay. Was that it? Was that it? Sounded out. Vicente.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I think
that's a normal. That's a Hispanically cultural name. That's
okay.
You're good.
Fernandez.
Yeah, keep going.
That's the last
Fernandez.
name.
Okay.
So it turns out he's a Mexican musician, and he made a lot of homophobic statements after he was diagnosed with liver cancer. He refused a transplant because he didn't want to get a transplant from a gay man. And yeah. And there was like, and this kind of harks back to like the AIDS crisis, right? Like a lot of people not wanting to get blood transfusions because they don't want to get gay blood, because they don't want to get it from AIDS. And there's a very strict time period, or maybe not so much strict. There's still probably people out there floating around feeling like if you, only gay people can get AIDS. And so having that stigma of less so much the disease, which is very scary, and more so who it's coming from, and that being the bigger fear. And that's what this was about. And so the artist, Jose, he was talking about like that it comes partly from the culture that he's raised in, and Hispanic culture. He was talking about growing up that there is very much this macho-ness that you have to put on. Not talking about your emotions, kind of like what you're talking about with your family member, saying like you do not talk about your emotions, and you're putting on this uniform when you walk out of the house, the outfit of like the shirt and the jeans and the belt buckle and the cowboy hat and the cowboy boots, and going out and making it clear, I am a man, I am macho, I am strong, I am not going to be anything other than this. And just him talking about like, I was not a part of that world. That's not, I mean, or that wasn't a world that he related to. So I thought that was very beautiful and sad.
It is. That's out there.
Yeah. And
Well,
with
I'm sure it's not. I said that it was out there, so I don't think that's the wrong phrase, because I feel like a lot of people, that is their reality. That's their, they're approaching the stigma every day, and
yeah.
they don't conform. They don't fit into the constraints of their culture. And it's hard to break free of that in a way that still stands true to your identity while also paying homage to your roots and being like, but this is my family. This is my familiar. So I think that's a hard place to be. And
Yeah. And
what a
also,
cool way to do a piece to showcase that.
yeah, yeah. It was really beautiful. And I know we talk a lot about the stigmas that women have to deal with and the standards that women have to deal with of like, oh, we have to be thin, we have to be quiet, we have to be docile, we have to be agreeable, but we don't give enough credit to the stresses of being a man. Is like, all I want to do is talk about how I'm feeling, and I'm being constantly told not to by my family members, like, boys don't cry, and being strong, so you have to be built and all of that, and just
True.
it's not necessary. It's so unnecessary. And yeah, I thought that was really, really a nice piece. And a lot of the works in the gallery talked a lot about the history, the background, especially focused towards the last 30 to 40 years. There was a piece that was kind of an homage to one part the Pulse nightclub massacre and one part Stonewall. Actually, do you know what the Stonewall riots are?
Me personally, yes,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
give a quick synopsis for some of our listeners who might not.
Yeah. So the
Please.
Stonewall riots started in 1969, the summer of 1969, and it was a retaliation against how the gay community. I don't think they were considered like LGBTQ community.
Not in
They
this time.
not at that time, or the queer community, I guess, is what the research I had said was referring to. Just retaliation against how they were being treated, because, and it still gets like this, where it can be very dangerous to be anything outside of being heterosexual normative. And the other part of it, talking about this exhibition overall, talked about, yes, overall LGBTQ plus being a struggle and dealing with safety, but that increases exponentially for people of color who fall under that category. Like violence against transgender is 80% higher for people of color rather than people who are white or Caucasian. So it's hard, and I get mad when people's like, "Well, just say that's a choice." And it's like, would you really say that someone would choose
To
to
make everything 8 times, 9 times, 1,000 times harder on themselves to
if it wasn't who
function
they
and
truly were? Yeah. Yeah. So this piece pays homage to that. It is Pride is Not Enough, and it is several iron rods or bronze rods with brick layered with about, I don't know, like a foot of space in between them. And it's by Michael Martinez. And it's talking about, so there are several bricks that are, so 49 pay homage to the victims of the Pulse nightclub. And
that's
then
cool.
the other 23 account for victims of anti-transgender violence in 2018. But the problem that he ran into is that as he was making this piece, the death toll kept rising. And so, yeah. And so it's one part paying attention to the Stonewall riots and the first time where there's a collective group of the queer community standing up like, we're not going to be okay with being treated the way that we've been treated. We're people too, and you're going to respect us. And tied into that horrific nightclub accident. Well, I think that, not an accident, it was an accident. It was a massacre. It was awful. And I think that was 2016, maybe?
Oof.
I can't remember. Yeah, and it's just, yeah, I wish I could say more about this because And this is the hard part. I wanted to be respectful talking about these pieces without being like, because I am a straight white woman.
Real fast.
Yeah.
Your Orlando nightclub shooting, Pulse nightclub massacre was June 12th, 2016.
Okay, thank you.
So you're right. Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You want to pay respect.
Okay, yeah. It's just I don't want to be as like, oh, I don't fully know what I'm talking about because I'm a straight white woman. I'm the second most privileged demographic in this country. So, but the thing that was really great about this exhibition is, one, it's in a part of the country that gets a lot of flack for its culture. A lot of people assume that Texas is racist and sexist and is cowboy hats and guns and blah. And yes, there are those people. Yeah, they're just going around with their guns yelling, That's how it is in San Antonio, guys. Don't come visit. I'm kidding.
Don't
totally
come visit.
Kidding.
But totally visit.
But totally visit. It's fine. That's not happening.
Go to the McNay. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It's the only safe place. Oh, God.
Texas is really hard. Texas is a hard culture to talk about because it is kind of steeped in it is a sovereign state. So therefore, they fly their flags at the same level of the, United States flag. And I feel like a lot of liberties are taken in Texas with the whole statehood situation. So being born in Texas, it is something that when people mention, well, where were you born? And I can't really say that I was born and raised in Idaho because I'm not. I was born in Texas. And they're like, oh, that explains your personality. And I was like, I actually don't feel like I have a whole lot of indicators from that area because regionally they have a whole lot of pride. They have a whole lot of independence in we are the best, we are the macho, we are the statuesque. And I feel like when you leave, even when you head over to either New Mexico or Louisiana, the culture changes dramatically. It's a whole nother situation. So, and even Oklahoma has a lot of those indicators, but not to the extent that Texas does. And Texas history is like its own class, like almost core subject that's taught as aside from U.S. history. So I find that it's a fascinating subsect of the United States. So you're 100% right. There's something different in that state.
Yeah, that's something that I was actually noticing applying for schools because I was looking at like the class catalogs, and for both UTSA and A&M, Texas A&M, there you have to take, I think, 6 or 12 credits. It's a 1 or 2 years of history, and they are all specifically like Texas economics, Texas history, pre-Columbian Texas history, post-Columbian Texas history. Very specific. Yeah, and it was just
pre-Mesoamerican Texas history. Like they'll track it all the way back. You just let them know, and they'll somewhat align it for you. But
and to put that in perspective, at Boise State, there is no Idaho history class. No one gives a shit. Most of those people, they've made a point to weed out, and we don't talk about them anymore, except for when
I think the only thing people throw at us is the Oregon Trail, and that technically doesn't even have our name in it. So
no, the Oregon Trail... Yeah, the Oregon Trail, French people, and the Nez Perce tribe.
Basque people. No, Basque people. I would say over French people.
No, I'm talking about, like, as far as, like, the history goes, like, forming.
Yeah, you're right. French, yeah.
So, and now it's Basque.
Now it's, yep.
Fun fact, largest population of Basque outside of Basque Country. Our sister city is Guernica.
Fun fact,
yeah.
I like those. We start the episode with those.
Yes, we do. I hope that they're fun facts. I feel very
like
awkward recording them. Good.
If you guys have any fun facts you want to send us that you think that we, like, our listeners should know about in the art world, you should send them to us so we can post them on our Instagram, because that would be really cool to see what you guys are thinking is a fun fact. But anyway, continue with your story, Kris. I apologize for interrupting you.
Unfucking believable. Okay, I can't. Yeah,
She did it again. God damn it.
yeah. So what I was saying is that a lot of people need to be more open-minded about what Texas is, especially. My main point of view is coming from San Antonio, which is just drenched in Latin culture, and it's beautiful. Like, to me, San Antonio is more prideful about its Latin roots than it is, in particular, Texas roots.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and like Fiesta's a big thing, and it's beautiful because you go anywhere, and like before moving down here, like there's Latin culture up in Boise, but it's definitely it's transplant culture.
It's migrant culture. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. And here it's not. I mean, it's a few hours away to Mexico. And yeah, and a lot of this exhibition had transgender, but it also had a focus on gender plus minority and the struggles that of like intercrossing all those things of like, okay, it's hard and it should get more credit. And I think that we need to be better as a culture, not whitewashing everything. I know like white feminism is something that I have to be very aware of. I don't want to be that person. And I think whitewashing the LGBTQ plus community can get really bad because they are can ignore a large group of people who are struggling and need help getting their voice in. So, yeah, that's my trip to the galleries, and this will be the the last episode I do about my trip to the gallery. I went with my friend John. He's been dying for me to drop his name in here and shit talk him. John, you are a horrible gallery companion, and you should feel bad because you're bad. No.
Oh dear.
He was fantastic. He was a doll. He was very patient with me, and he asked a
Kris,
lot of good questions.
You are demanding. Let's just say this: you are demanding as a gallery partner.
What does that mean?
You want to stop and look at every single piece. I have found that some people consider this a bad thing because
why? But it's in there. You have to look at it.
I know. I 100% agree. If it's there for my viewing pleasure. I paid for my ticket to get in. I'm gonna look at all the things. I'm gonna read all of the plaques. I'm going to look at all the pamphlets. I'm going to listen to all the little audio things that you can do on your cell phone that are exceptional. I'm going to do all that stuff because I paid for it. And to me, that is a form of entertainment. My husband does not agree. He's like, we're going to make a quick pass. We're going to walk it like a hallway. And I'm like, no. So it's... I get what you're a demanding gallery goer, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that we should honor and celebrate that because that's what the artwork is for. If you only look at one piece in a whole collection, you're not getting the whole story. No, sometimes you are. Not all times, though. So.
I will blatantly call out my dad on this, so...
Sorry, Dad.
So, Dad, I love you, but also you're probably not listening to this. I don't know that he knows that I have a podcast.
All right, well, keep going anyway. We've already covered, just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, so when I go to Denver for the holidays, part of the tradition is I go to the Denver Art Museum, and that usually includes him with my Aunt Sue, who is amazing, I love you. And and then like whoever else is with us is usually... like a hodgepodge, like usually my stepmom wants to go. Yeah.
Oh, no, they want to go. Good. Yes.
My stepmom wants to go. My aunt definitely wants to go. My aunt has the same level of enthusiasm for art as I do. And I would say on par as far as like education level without, wasting the money and time for the degree. And my dad... he says he likes it, but he doesn't act like he likes it. I remember when I was a kid, the first time he took me to a gallery, because there was a time in my life where we were kind of estranged, and why that is totally up for debate. It doesn't matter anymore. But when I first went to Denver after not seeing him for several years, or talking to him for several years, he didn't really know what to do with me because I was a teenage girl, and that's confusing for everyone, including ourselves.
It's true.
And so he's like, well, what do you like? I was like, I like art. And he goes, okay, well, there's this exhibition. We can go there. And it was an awesome exhibition. It was a Versailles collection at the Denver Art Museum. Yeah, so it had furniture and portraits all from Versailles because they had a relationship with the Louvre, and they were able to get a lot of this stuff on loan. And it was just so cool. And I'm looking at everything, and I notice, I was like, my dad's gone. And he's over at the end of the exhibition, and he comes up and he's like, are you done looking at everything? I was like, no, I'm like halfway through. What are you doing over there? He's like, oh, I saw all of it. And it's been like that ever since. He insists on going because he wants to spend time with his daughter, which I love, and I love that he's willing to put up with that. But he definitely speed demons through the exhibition. And, and I'll be like, Dad, did you see this piece back there? It means this, this, and this, and it's super cool. And he's like, yeah, yep, cool. And the last time we went to a Dior exhibition, and it was just a huge collection of Dior gorgeousness. And yeah, so
I
it
was
was
about
like,
to say, I saw the pictures and I was like, oh, it's so pretty.
oh, it was amazing. And so
awesome.
I was nerding out really hard. My aunt was nerding out really hard. And it was like the things my dad could give none fucks about. Museums, quietness, art, and clothes.
Yeah. Shove Dior at any male and they're like, oh, maybe that's a brand my wife will like. And that's about generally in my family. That is the male response. And I'm like, no, unacceptable.
No. To appreciate it more. I can't.
Yes.
I can't.
I can't tell people collections or seasons or, stuff like that that's important for people who absolutely adore the brand. But I can appreciate a fine leather clutch when I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm in your category. My Aunt Sue, she fucking knows everything. Like going through, she's like, oh yeah, that celebrity wore that in this year. And oh yeah, that's from this collection in this time. And this is why it was such a big deal. Like she could even pinpoint. So like, yes, the brand is Dior, but after a point, like it wasn't like Dior passes away. So they need new designers coming in. She'll be like, oh yeah, this designer came in and did this kind of direction with it, and I didn't really care for that, and then this guy came in and he's a fucking master, and I was like, yep, cool, it all looks awesome to me. So
she was real into it. I like that. I like her. Go Aunt Sue.
She's a fucking gem. Okay, well, what would you say is giving you life right now, Michael K?
So right now, I mean, we wrapped up Inktober, and that's pretty much my lifeblood all year long. I look forward to it. I soak it up. I let my pores be inundated by the ink, and I just allow my spirit to soar. So I'm kind of on a deep, heavy way when it's over. So not looking forward to I have to bask in that for a little bit, but we're on to the next projects. I guess I would say I'm really looking forward to, now that we've wrapped up your exhibitions that you've gone to, I think I want to go see my own now.
Ooh.
I want to go find some gallery and just walk in and be like, what am I looking at today? I'm excited for it. So I think you've inspired that in me today, which is good. So.
Yeah. We should do a trip to the BAM for you.
Oh, I do love the BAM. I do love them. And I love how, I don't know, lately they've had a lot of items that I feel are along my visual tangent. So I feel like a visit to the BAM could be, the Boise Art Museum could be in my future. But
yeah, an
Kris,
underrated art museum.
It is very underrated. I don't know why more people don't go. I'm super confused about it. But Kris, what is giving you life?
So, what is giving me life right now? And you're gonna laugh at me for this, but it's World of Warcraft.
Yes! Sorry, that
Yeah,
was loud and
that was loud,
abusive.
but
I'm
I'm glad.
sorry,
No,
but
don't be sorry.
tell me why.
It has been my rage cleanser. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, like I've talked about in the last couple of episodes, I've just been going through just a rough patch. Just the universe just taking shit after shit on me, throwing vehicles at me, throwing just, like it's trying to get me to give up and I refuse. But yeah, so WoW Classic came out about a month ago, and I haven't been able to get up to level 60 yet because I have a job. I realized I
Drat
just
that.
said that, and I'm gonna have people who's like, I work 40 hours a week and I got to level 60, so you're clearly not as dedicated. Shut up. Look,
Shut your pie hole. Yes.
yeah, it's just taking me back to a period in my life that it was nice. Like my home life was kind of rough at that point, and it was this place of escapism. So whenever I went back in like deep for playing World of Warcraft again, I definitely, it feels like a form of escapism, and it brings me back to like hanging out with my friends and
It's a happy place. God.
yeah. And
Okay. Oh, this is real quick aside. When I was giving birth, my nurse, like, I was in so much excruciating pain before they put in my epidural. Of course, because it's giving birth to children is painful. I don't know if anybody knows this, but just
no,
so
it's
you
just
know.
a slip and slide, right?
It's just a slip and slide. No, it's painful. That's just painful. So I was in so much pain, and she was like, visualize your happy place. And I was like, fuck. Because to me, happy places are people. So I was like, my husband's in this room with me. My parents are in the waiting room. I'm sure I'm gonna like my future kid, and he's about to come out. So he is also in this room. What happy place do I have that isn't in this room experiencing this pain with me?
Shit, that's like, a journey you gotta figure out.
I was like, no. My cat. So I envisioned curling up in my reading nook with my cat on my lap, purring, and everything was gravy. It's great.
Oh, I love that! Oh, God. Oh, man.
So, anyway, I can see why it's your happy place. It's a time that was, like, peaceful and a little bit more simpler, and everybody was involved. All of your friends, yo. So, I get it.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah,
place.
and the other thing that I want to mention, because I do still play retail from time to time, but retail has lost this culture aspect that Classic has, thank God, revitalized. You are forced so much more to communicate with people. You have to, like, it sounds ridiculous, but in retail, you don't have to actively reach out to make groups. You don't have to actively ask for help to get quests done. You don't actively have to find a guild. Like in retail, all of that's pretty much automated. You want to go do a dungeon, hit that looking for group button, and then in like 20 minutes, you'll be in a group with 4 other people to get shit done. And in Classic, you have to find these people. And the chats are just so choice. Like, it is Trollville. I
It's
fucking
so good.
live for it. I'm a
so
part
good.
of Trollville.
Yes, you are. I can see it.
Oh, man,
I can totally see it.
There's this whole conversation going on about, like, none of this, for the record, nothing in WoW chats are politically correct. There is
no PC culture. They don't care.
No, they give none fucks about your PC culture. And I got into one region and they're talking about, like, yeah, gay men love boobs. And it's just, like, this whole argument about whether gay men love boobs or not.
Okay.
And, yeah, and then I just went and I was like, I was like, what's everyone's liquor that makes them a little gay? And, just everyone has a liquor. Everyone has that liquor that, like, they do a shot of Goldschlager and they're making out with their best lady friend or whatever across the bar. And,
right.
yeah, so it was just, that's great. The names are fantastic. I'm on a server called Bigglesworth, which is a reference to Austin Powers' little white cat, Mr. Bigglesworth. So everyone just has ridiculous names because we like to party. Yeah. My
like
mage
to party
is
hard.
yeah, my mage is named Blazin' Tendy. So
You, Kris. There's a reason why you're so unique, and I like it.
I'm nothing if not myself. But yeah, sorry, I went on like a huge tangent, but that's what's giving me life right now. World of Warcraft
like
classic.
It.
Yeah.
Solid. Well, should we
Well.
thank people for listening to us bitch and chatter? I feel like we should thank people.
Yes, thank you for listening to us. Again, I feel like I did a very shallow dive into this intersection between the LGBTQ plus intersection of art. So if you want to be a part of that communication, if there's something that we miss or there's something that you want to share, please
Definitely.
do. Yes.
We definitely, as two cisgendered white women, we in the sphere of gender, we are not very far from the center. So I would definitely say, we try to approach it without bias, but we have those, but this one was just, specifically for this McNaig exhibit and talking about a few specific pieces. So we'll probably come up to this again later on, talking about gender-related art pieces, because it's art, and we talk about that a lot. So we'll approach it again.
It's almost like it's an art podcast. Yes.
It's almost like we talk about things that are drawn and performed and written and beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful things.
Yes. Well, thank you, and goodbye.
Bye. Would like to take a moment to thank our audio tech William Higginson for mastering this episode. A huge thank you to Joseph McDade for our podcast track, Drifting Corners. And thank you for having listened to another rousing podcast from Kris and Michael K. We were thankful to have you for another week, and if you hit that subscribe button, we'll catch you in another 2. If you have thoughts to share, you can email us at prismacasters@gmail.com. To follow our visual show notes, search out Prismacasters on Instagram. And to get general updates, view content, and otherwise just get our cosmic lowdown, visit our website at www.prismacast.com. Don't forget to both rate and review our burgeoning show wherever you found our podcasts so others can find us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.